What's up? Welcome to episode 11 of Brewing Through the Multiverse. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm your other host, Joel.
How we doing today, man?
Doing well. This week flew by. Uh, Excited to play Magic tomorrow. I think we're gonna get some games in, hopefully.
Yeah, let's hope it happens. It seems like it's gonna.
Yeah.
We'll be back by 5, which should give me enough time to get my cards and head on over, get
All
some
right,
games
perfect.
in. Yeah, absolutely.
What are you
So
drinking
today
today?
I am
Perfect.
drinking Liquid Sorcery. I figured it was very fitting for today from Sloop Brewing. Always a good spot. I haven't had it yet. We'll see if I like it. But
that
I've
looks
been
like it.
thirsty all day.
That looks like it costs one a red and a blue.
Yeah, it's is it for sure. Liquid Sorcery. It makes sense. Yeah, I've been dying to crack a beer, and I've been waiting for the podcast, so I'm very happy to drink this.
Fantastic. Nice glass too.
Hmm.
What stays glass?
Yeah, Treehouse, man,
Yeah, good
fantastic.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, first thing I want to talk about now that I got you here is last episode we were talking about my Selesnya deck,
Yep.
Gilwain, and you mentioned to check out some Coven cards.
Yeah.
And I did. I looked through them all, and there were 3 cards specifically that stood out to me. So I want to go over with them, let you know.
All right.
Augur of Autumn, which is 1 green, green, 2, 3, one of choice favorite cards. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. You can play lands from the top of your library. And as long as you control 3 or more creatures, Coven, with power different than each other, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library too. I like the ability to look at the top of your library. I like that it's just giving you that little bit of extra land advantage. And I just thought it was a nice little utility. Not going to add it, but I did want to call it out.
I have that was on the list for Ragadraga for a while. To churn through cheap creatures, kind of. But I love that card. I think that card's fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
it does a little bit of everything. I love effects that let you look at the top card of your library.
Yeah.
Because while the card's not in your hand, just to have the ability to know, like, you could plan around, okay, this person's doing this now with my resources. It just, more information is obviously always good. And then if you're playing any kind of like creature deck, I feel like it's not hard to hit the different power type thing, the Coven requirements.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I don't like about the card, and I would consider it more, is if you could cast any spell from the top of your library. The fact that it's only creatures makes me a little nervous in a deck that also has a lot of enchantments in it. So,
That's fair.
but cool card. The next one is Redemption Choir,
Ah, yes,
which
this
is
one's good.
2 white, white, 3/3 lifelink with Coven. When you have creatures with 3 different powers, return target. So when it enters a battlefield or attacks, if you have Coven, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. A lot of the cards in my deck are 3 or less. I like the idea of bringing them out. It's got a little bit of life gain. It's a nice utility. I,
Run it, not run it.
I'm if I was to add one, it would probably be Redemption Choir. I might test it out, see how it performs a few times, and then call it from there. It's not anything that's like really standing out and saying you got to run it, but I mean, if I could pull 2 or 3 creatures back, that would be great.
Yeah, I actually run this in my Lysa deck. Um, I
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because Coven is fairly easy to hit, especially because this is 3 and my commander is a 4 power, so I just need one, something at 2 or 5 or what have you. But I specifically like it because 3 or less is enough to hit uh, Merciless Executioner and Fleshbag Marauder and Plaguecrafter. So it just fits so nicely in that deck. It's just more graveyard recursion.
Yeah, that's fucked up that you just started smiling real hard as you were saying those card names. You
Yeah,
love that shit.
so happy
Oh,
about that. I do. I
Yeah.
really do. It's a horrible. I feel like it's a dark. That's why I love playing Orzhov because I could like outwardly friendly and nice, but there's that kernel inside.
Oh, I get it. I fucking get it, man. Last Coven card is Stalwart Pathlighter, which is the one you shouted out
Hmm.
last week. It's a 2 and a white, uh, at 3/1 vigilance. If you got that Coven, your creatures gain indestructible until the end of your turn. Uh,
You don't think it's
Fantastic.
worth it? You don't think it's worth a spot?
No, actually, all right. So when I said that I may add the Stalwarts as the one I add, it's because I'm already 100% adding this one. This is already like a definite add. I
Oh,
think
I
this is
see.
great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like it's just perfect. It fits so nicely.
it's yeah as good as it gets for that deck. So for sure, that's going to be going in. But I just want to let you know, I did my homework. I checked the Coven.
Yeah,
I liked it,
I'm
and
glad that it worked
one,
out.
two maybe cards will make it.
I uh I've started to do. I've taken something that you told me that you do a long time ago that I've lately like to start doing is you said like whenever a new set comes out, you always try to find at least one or two cards to put into put into your decks to kind of like keep it fresh, what have you. So actually, Redemption Choir is one of the cards that was like from the newer set that I was specifically like I want to force something in there. That and Trumpeting
Nice.
Carnosaur because that card is silly.
Yeah. Did you find a home for that?
That's an Ilharg.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
happen.
Ilharg pops it out, and then all of a sudden, discover! Yay! Something else is coming too.
Yeah, I
I love
love
it.
it. Well, uh, so I started working on my budget deck. I know
Same.
last week we were talking about it. You mentioned you
Yeah.
might be going black. I said I'd look into it. I went hard into this. I am deep in the passionate throes of building this right now, and I'm pretty excited. So I have a definite deck. Do you have a definite commander
I
that you're
have
building?
also so I have a bit of a story like not story but like a timeline, a series of thoughts that got me to this place. So just a reminder, we decided to, inspired by our friend Keldon, looked at monocolored commanders that were, 1,000 or less decks on EDH Rec, and then just kind of see like what kind of fun things that were available. And something that I found that, because our buddy Mark also was considering doing the same thing, something I found that is like a lot of the time uh, those decks are creatures that do things that the colors are like known for doing. I feel like there's not a lot of variety at that like level in terms of uh just uniqueness. It's always like a worse version of a better commander, and or like something completely so odd that like it's not useful at all in like you know the game. So I actually kind of struggled a little bit like finding something that I felt was like different enough from what black normally kind of does, which is actually funny me saying this because side story, I'm ended up doing something Black loves to do, but we'll get there. So one thing that the first thing that popped up to me that I was like, this is definitely a possibility. Um, is a card from I think that's Betrayers of Kamigawa. It is yes, I got that. Damn, I got that right. Um, Kyoki Sanity's Eclipse. It's 4 and 2 black, so 6 mana total for a 6/4 demon spirit. The art is awesome. You got to look at this creature. It's so cool looking.
Kyoki, right?
Yeah, Kyoki. Um, whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, target opponent removes a card in his or her hand from the game.
Okay.
So,
So you
yeah,
then that's exile, right? That means
yeah,
exile
exile the
card from
card.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was fun to start because as somebody that played Abzan in Modern back in the day and whatnot, like I'm a big fan of Thoughtseize. I mean, Thoughtseize is still very popular, but obviously, I just liked to look at their hand and exile some things. Then I was thinking like, well, then you could build a kind of entire deck around hand destruction, which is what I was gonna bring up when we first talked about doing this because I was like, oh, it's just Tiny Bones again. Because I did have a Tiny Bones deck at one point. You altered me a Waste Knot, which is another reason I was considering making like another hand attacking deck. Because it's like, oh, it's place for Waste Knot, like awesome. Um, but ultimately, I decided that like I didn't want to focus so specifically on. Well, there's a couple factors. A, it's 6 mana to cast, and I was like, that's pretty late in the game, especially for like the more budget kind of things. Maybe if I had access to like Cabal Coffers and Urborg and shit, then
Maybe get a dark ritual or
Yeah,
something to
exactly.
go
Yeah.
off.
Well, if
But
Dark Ritual is only like $1 or two. No, is it that
yeah,
expensive? Yeah.
no, it's
But I'm just saying, six
depends.
mana is a lot. I like to try to keep it as low as possible so you could see it, because then 6 mana gets removed and now it's 8 in mono
Yeah.
black, so it's kind of hard to get there. But then I wasn't like super in love with like all of the effects of the hand destruction specifically. So then that led me to the next card, which was another card from the Kamigawa block, this time Champions, in Name Death Aspect, which has another awesome art. Honestly, OG Kamigawa block has some of the coolest arts for creatures.
Spell that bad boy for me.
Yeah, it's Iname. Iname. I'm assuming it's Iname, based on the Japanese subtitles that I've read.
Death aspect.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
All
thought
right.
that art's
It's
pretty
also
cool.
6 mana.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right.
So also 6 mana, also a spirit, but this time when it
That's
enters the
sick.
battlefield,
Yeah.
yeah, you may search the library for any number of spirits and put them into your graveyard, then shuffle. So one led me to this one because then I was like, oh wow. So I was looking at spirits already, a lot of cool art. Side note is that one of the first decks I ever built in Magic: The Gathering was a green-white spirits deck, all built around the spirits from the or OG Kamigawa block. Actually, with our local game store shop owner John, he Nemesis Comics and Games, shout out in Hamburg, New Jersey. But he taught me how to play, and the first decks that I built were like out of boxes of cards that like him and his friends had that were just extra, like your chaff box or what have you. First deck I put together was green white spirits, so I have a love for those cards. So then I saw this one, and then I thought that was super cool. And then you could run like a living end effect to like dump everything in your graveyard, and then have everyone swap, their battlefield in the graveyard, or Rise from the Dark Realms, which did not realize is super expensive now
How
and
much
not
is it?
budget. It is. I think it's double digits.
Okay. Yeah. Last time I think I bought one, it was about $10 to $14.
Oh yeah. So the last time I haven't had one in a very long time. Yeah, cheapest
Okay.
one looks like it's going for like 15, 16. Those are heavily played though. Yeah, it's creeping up to like
Wow, it's moving
$20.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
That secret lair art of that card is one of the
Yeah,
best
I'm looking
secret
at
lair
it.
arts there is. Love that card.
Yeah, so but I haven't actually used it in a while. Last time I bought one, it was like $5, but that's crazy. So hopefully that gets reprinted soon. But then I thought that was super cool. There's a whole bunch of great spirit. There's way more spirits in black than I had originally thought. Because to my head, the only thing that really jumped out was like, oh, like Kamigawa stuff. But there's actually one that just got printed in Lost Caverns, Souls of the Lost, which isn't fantastic, but it's available. And then also I forgot that the two black dragons, well, all of the legendary dragons are Kamigawa, like Kokusho and Junji. Those are both spirit dragons, so those could have went in there too.
Hmm.
But then I started thinking that is too samey in gameplay, because it seems like with that deck, it's essentially just wait until you have like a living end type effect. Because didn't they also just print a creature in Lost Caverns that has living end stapled onto it?
Yeah, that vampire, the Endbringer, Vampire Bringer, or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If it's
yeah, that
cast from
thing.
hand, yeah.
So
Uh,
I feel like that deck
I
would always be the same though, and set like exactly where you would just wait until you can cast your commander and have something, cast that to dump all your spirits in there, send them all onto the battlefield, and then hopefully win like that. And I've built decks before that were built around a very specific win con like that, and I find that nobody likes them, including myself, because it's just like, oh, the thing happens, like it's over, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or you
and
get blown
if
out.
we, I was gonna say, if we remove your graveyard at instant speed, which I mean, you
Very
can do it.
possible.
It's something that happens.
Yeah, it has happened. So that's the other
Yeah.
thing too. So it seems like a very feast or famine. I'm either gonna do the same thing every time to like win, or I'm gonna get blown out and have nothing else to do. So that's why I moved away from that. But then that finally, with the whole graveyard recursion thing, I have been missing a reanimator deck. I haven't had one in a long time. So I settled on my final choice, which is Drana, the Last Blood Chief. Um, there's 202 decks on EDH Rec. Not a popular commander at all.
Okay. I like this card.
3 mana, 2 and a black. So 3, 2 and a black for 5 total for a flying 4/4 vampire cleric. When Drana the Last Blood Chief attacks, defending player chooses a non-legendary creature card in your graveyard. You return that card to the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. The creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So what really drew me to this is that A, it only can reanimate non-legendary things. So nothing too broken is going to get pulled out with her. It's also an attack trigger, so that's not overwhelming in my opinion. But I also really liked that the person defending against the attack is the one that gets to choose what gets brought back. So my intention is to build it in sort of a toolboxy way and maybe use it for like some politicking in terms of like, hey, let me attack you, let me like hit you, bring back this thing that can deal with something else. It's kind of where my head's at.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Is there going to be any sort of vampire tribal
Not
thing to it?
not even in
Just
the slightest.
toolbox. Okay.
Yeah, just gonna do Reanimator. Another card that I had never heard of before looking into some of the popular cards for this deck is Burning Rune Demon from Kaldheim.
Okay.
When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning Rune Demon that have different names. If you do, reveal them. An opponent chooses one of them, put the chosen card into your hand and the other one into your graveyard. So I just feel like reanimating a Flample, no, not Flample, sorry, just flying 6/6, and then also getting a card to hand and putting something in the graveyard, which you can then use Drana to bring back the next turn. I feel like that's an awesome little bit of synergy there.
Yeah, absolutely. I I like this. So your goal is to kill people with commander damage. Then just keep it out and swing.
I'm not terribly. Yeah, I would imagine ultimately that's probably going to be the way that it wins some of the time because I'm not building around any other particular thing. It's more so just like control in the sense that there's going to be like what's the Kaladesh black destroy a creature when it comes out?
Kaladesh
Oh,
Fatal Push?
Noxious Gearhulk. There we go.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Noxious Gearhulk type effects, or I'm just gonna try to overwhelm with value, like the way I always like to try to play Magic.
Right.
Like
I'm over here
remove.
racking my brain on cards, and every one I'm thinking of is a legendary. Like Gonti.
Yes.
Oh no, you
Yeah.
can't play Gonti.
Well, so there's 2 ways my plan is to manipulate the graveyard. One is to exile cards from my graveyard through like delve spells. I was thinking about putting Gurmag Angler in there. And there's also that one. There's like an instant that is a destroy target creature or something that has delve. I forget what that's called, but so exile things that I don't want to be brought back when I attack with Drana, and then also there's lots of creatures that when they ETB allow you to bring something back from the graveyard on their own, and those aren't legendary. So, um, kind of when I say politicking, more so like, do you want me to be able to bring back my other legendary thing, or do you want me to bring back the thing that can like kill something essentially? So,
Right.
yeah.
I like it. I'm interested to see how that goes. It sounds like it can do a lot without being too powerful. So I'm all
Yeah,
for it.
nothing I'm looking at is expensive. I mean, if I were ever to upgrade it later, I would definitely throw like Urborg and Cabal coffers and probably like Nirkana Revenant isn't expensive right now, is it?
Oh man, I haven't played that in forever. I'm gonna assume no. I'm gonna assume that that's just cheap.
I got one in Japanese like 10 years ago, and I can't sell it because it's in a foreign language, and so I just always have one now.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm having fun with the builds. Nothing's finalized yet, but I'm I'm very excited to build like a reanimator light type of deck.
When you said that you were looking to put in delve cards, I was a little confused for a minute. I'm like, why would you want to pull things out of your graveyard? Maybe he means dredge. And then as soon as you explained that it was to get rid of the things that you don't want called back, I mean, that's awesome. That's a
Yeah.
great little tweak there. I
Yeah,
like that.
manicure the graveyard a little bit. Um, yeah, and I'm actually surprised that there's so few decks. I mean, I know that there's better reanimator commanders out there, and the non-legendary clause isn't the best, but I feel like there's enough nowadays. Maybe not when what was the Zendikar United or Zendikar Rising? Sorry, that's Dominaria United. Maybe a couple years ago when Zendikar Rising actually came out, like there wasn't enough effects in black that felt worth it. But between artifacts creatures and black creatures, I'm finding a lot of interesting ETB effects to kind of want to use.
Right. Awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's what I settled on. What about you?
So I decided to do Krark the Thumbless.
Nice.
Um, I I guess it ended up being low. I'm pulling it up right now to see exactly what how many decks are built up here. So
Ha, you're also very
as a
low.
single commander, 120 decks.
Yeah.
There's going to be no partner with it. I just want Krark. A lot of the partners really don't synergize with it anyway, so it's kind of a waste of a slot. So I'd rather it be solo. Yeah, Krark was looking through. There was a few different options that I wanted to run. I was looking at a few things, but I mean, the idea of coin flipping. I guess I should read what he does, right? I'm just trying to pull up.
Pull up.
Okay, so Krark, Krark the Thumbless is 1 in a red, 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. So I have a dice roll deck that I love dearly.
It's great.
And I know, yeah, and I know you've been talking about a coin flip deck, and I've been waiting. I've been excited for it because I love the idea of it. So when we went budget and I saw this was available and everything, I figured even if this isn't something I keep for a long time, I got to have a crack at coin flip, see how it goes. I did have a Rakdos, the showstopper deck once for the coin flip,
Yeah.
and I built it around coin flip with chance encounter and all these things. And I ended up realizing that when Rakdos flips a coin for heads or tails to destroy creatures, it's not counted as winning or losing. So it doesn't add to any of the if you win a coin flip, if you lose a coin flip, which made it not really a coin flip deck.
Yeah.
So now I have my little chance to get it going again. I like the fact because when I first read it, I thought it said if you lose it, counter the spell. But all it does is it goes right back to hand, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what I decided is in order to make this thing work, because it's this little dinky creature, and it has to be instants or sorceries, and red is one of the worst colors for high value instants and sorceries. When I'm looking through, all it does is deal 3 damage, deal 5 damage,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, the burn spells.
Yeah. So it took some time. First off, I got to make sure there's a lot of mana in here, because if I am going to have to take 2 or 3 attempts to cast something, I need to be able to do it. So I'm going to put more mana rocks than I typically do. I only
What
do
how
3
many
mana
mana
rocks.
rocks are you at?
I normally run 3,
How
maybe
many
4.
ramp sources would you put in say you put in normally?
Most decks 5 or 6.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I oh my god, that is a gorgeous buck outside. Oh my god.
Deer.
Buddy, I'm hitting on pause. I'll be right back. Okay,
Oh,
that guy ran. I have 3 days left to shoot a buck here up in Pennsylvania, and he was right out there, but he
so
ran away.
close.
Yeah, I'm in front of a huge window podcasting, and when I stood up to go, he just ran away.
You didn't have
my
split
goodness.
second. He had a response.
Yeah, there was interaction.
So I have a question. I was looking.
Hit me. All right, go ahead.
Were there any instants and sorceries in particular that you were excited to possibly copy, or was you more so inspired by just the fact that it's a coin flipping kind of chance?
So the coin flipping is more of what I wanted to do. So there's a card, Chance Encounter. It's a 4-mana enchantment. If you win 20 coin flips, you win the game. So obviously that's my first go. I'd like to do enough coin flips to where I win with that method. The chance that someone's going to let me flip 20 coins is very slim. So I do need to have other options. Instants and sorceries wise, like I said, there's really nothing that is gonna be high value, change the course of the game. There's a few of them. If you look at like the 9-10 mana slots, I mean, Call Forth the Tempest, which is 5 red, Cascade. Call Forth the Tempest deals damage equal to each creature your opponents control equal to the total mana value of other spells you cast this turn. So it's like,
Oh yeah,
it can do stuff, but I mean, nothing crazy.
are you running Warp World?
No, I'm going to do no chaos whatsoever.
I personally, okay, so I understand the grievances of chaos. I built a chaos deck that won by making people concede. I get it, but I just love Warp Worlds by shuffling everything that's on the battlefield and just like doling it out. Is so much fun because then the boards just get out of control. But that's side.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love all
Yeah.
that stuff. My problem is if I do have Chance Encounter out, I
You don't
can't
wanna
have
give it
any
away.
randomness get rid of it.
Yeah.
I can't give it up.
Yeah.
I can't lose it. It's got to stay.
So it's actually funny that you're putting Chance Encounter in there because I was considering putting Mortal Kombat in my deck.
Do it. That's cool.
Yes,
Nice.
to both have like a 20 or more thing, you win.
Yeah, that Mortal Kombat is if you kill
Have
20...
20 or more creatures in your graveyard.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, definitely do it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of alternate win cons.
Yeah. The other part of Kark the Thumbless with this all is obviously Kark's Thumb, which is a 2-mana enchantment. Whenever you flip a coin, flip it a second time.
I think it's an artifact.
Yes, sorry, artifact. Yeah, I altered it. I had bought it a while ago, and I did a really nice extended art alter, and I gave it to Teddy. I think Teddy
Nice.
has it.
Hope Teddy's enjoying it.
He's a perfect person to do that weird stuff. Man, now I'm just staring out for this deer. All week I've been dealing with these deer. They're driving me crazy. I have spikes coming up. I have, all these does, but I got to shoot a legal buck. It's crazy.
Going back to what you said before, I'm actually pretty sure that Kark and Sakashima combo is a very powerful deck. It might be CDH actually. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that combo is a very popular combo.
Yeah.
So he's not useless. It's just
Yeah.
very
I guess
specific.
Looking for the partner in mono red is useless.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually,
Rogak.
I'm pretty sure I looked up backgrounds, not partners. So,
Oh really?
Yeah, my bad.
No, he's a partner.
All right, so then maybe next podcast I'll be like, I found the partner. I'll tell you this.
It's Sakashima. Who knew? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, well, good to know. But okay, so ultimately, I have this coin flip deck. I got to make it work on a budget. It has to actually perform. Like I can't just be flipping coins and not doing anything. So I decided the best bet would probably have cards that deal damage whenever I cast an instant or sorcery.
Ah, I
and do
see.
the little incremental, the gutter snipe, the
Magecraft type Stormkill artist. That's that guy.
right,
Doesn't he
yeah,
deal damage or
anything like
something,
that.
or he gets stronger?
Yeah, electrostatic field, and I
Yeah.
have one where I altered that to have a little Pikachu on it, so I'll be able to use that one. Um, Stuff like that, and then ultimately, I want to copy spells, but I don't want the deck to have too many copy spells involved. So there'll be a small copy spell theme. That way, while I'm copying it, even if I cast it and it doesn't go off, the copy goes off.
Yeah.
To just be a little bit of a reassurance that something's going to happen for my mana cost.
Plus, you
Um,
kind of protect. If you win the flip, you kind of protect yourself from counter spells because now somebody has to counter two spells.
that's true. If I
And
win
I
the
don't
flip,
think anyone's running Flutterstorm.
I have never seen. Well, in the shop, I see it
Flusterstorm?
cast.
Flutterstorm. Is it
Fluster.
Flusterstorm?
I
Flusterstorm.
would. I'm
I
gonna say
play
Fluster.
CDH, I know.
That's it. That's the only time I ever see it. Tyler will cast it on me occasionally.
Yeah. Um,
Um, I want. All right, so I want to highlight my card that I'm most excited to cast, which is Fiery Gambit, 2 and a red sorcery. Flip a coin until you lose a flip, or choose stop flipping. Nope, that's not the one. That ain't the one. Which one are we at here? There's one. Ah, I'm the worst. I didn't save it. All right, so there's one where it's like
ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
you got to flip 3 coins. If you win 1 coin flip, it does a little something. If you flip 2 coin flips, it does a big something. And if you hit that third coin flip, let me just.
While you're looking
Oh,
it up, oh, you
go ahead.
found it?
Yeah, I think I was reading it. Fiery Gambit. Okay. Yeah, I just keep reading the card, Michael.
Reading the card
So,
explains the card.
all right. If you win 1 or more flips, Fiery Gambit deals 3 damage to target creature. If you win 2 or more flips, Fiery Gambit deals 6 damage to each creature. If you win 3 or more flips, draw 9 cards and untap all lands you control.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
not putting me any better towards winning the game, but
Then you could
damn, that'll
copy
feel
that
good.
if you get the copy and you get 2 chances at 9 flips. 9 successful flips. With thumb out, that's so much flipping. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and in the right circumstances, it could be powerful. I realize that a lot of my cards are going to have to be producing mana or drawing cards. If I'm not turning through this deck, I'm just going to be stuck flipping coins with nothing to do. So, Mana Geyser, Seething Song, Mana Rocks, Mana Flare, and also there's this guy, Tavern Scoundrel from Modern Masters. It's 1 and a red, 1/3 human rogue. Whenever I win a coin flip, create 2 treasure tokens.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Value.
and I can pay 1 and tap it, sacrifice another permanent, and flip a coin. It's great.
That's value.
Yeah. So there's ways to keep mana coming. There's ways to deal a little bit of damage, and there's ways to just keep it going. The card that I'm pretty pumped for, which will probably be the most expensive card in here, is the new Urbrask, which is a 2 red 4/4 with first strike. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Urbrask deals 1 damage to target opponent. Add 1 red mana. So it kind of refunds it.
Yeah.
But then I could pay 1 and exile it to return if I've cast 3 or more instants of sorceries that turn. And then the Saga Side's nice. So, I mean, it's just another way to keep me going, dealing some damage, doing my thing. On the other side, I'm making treasure tokens. I'm, doing stuff that I need to do.
2 questions. One is, are you considering to expend some of the budget on Bergie or Bridgie? I don't know how to
that's
say it.
that's
The
a
mono
Kaldheim
red goblin.
one?
Yeah, from Kaldheim. When you cast a instant or sorcery, you make a red.
Yes, I'll think about it. I saw her on the list there on EDH. I like it. I would consider it, but
It's a chunk of the
only if I
budget,
need it.
though.
Yeah, but I mean, most of these cards are $1 or
Well,
less.
that's yeah. I'm surprised Thumb is only $5. That spiked when the Secret Lair Commander deck came out, and I feel like it's gone back down. That, or maybe it was cheaper beforehand, and now it's just maintaining the price. I'm not sure, but it's definitely cheaper than I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Keep it at $5, please.
Yeah,
Please.
not too bad.
My question for you on this is: do I put in all those red land destruction spells and see if I could just,
Blow
copy a whole
people
bunch of
up?
land destruction
Yes,
spells?
I think so. I think so, definitely.
Just a few, right? Just in
Yeah,
case.
some spice, some seasoning.
Yeah. They have the ones that destroy target land and do something else. That way, at least if I'm destroying a land, I could be like, oh no, I did draw a card. It's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, my second question to you was, if you end up liking this, do you think you would ever turn this into like, is it, and like upgrade it? Is that a possibility ever, or would you only ever want to keep it mono red?
No, honestly, so this is more of like a thought exercise and
Oh, I see.
just to see
Okay.
how it works. I don't see myself keeping this deck to 2025. It'll probably get broken up eventually, but I want to see how it works. I want to flip some coins. I'd like to see one win with chance encounter. I'd like to get fiery gambit off one time. Just there's just a few cards I'd really like to get going. Apex of Power, Invoke Calamity, where it triggers a whole bunch of copies, and yeah, it's just I want to get off on it and then get out.
The only reason I asked that is because when I was considering making a coin flip deck, it was very hard to choose between Kark and Sakashima. Actually, was my first consideration, but Yusri Fortune's Flame from Modern Horizons. It's one and is it so 3 mana total for 2/3 flying. Whenever Yusri, I'm gonna go with that. Yusri Fortune's Flame attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5. Flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, it deals 2 damage to you. If you won all 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying their mana costs. I think that's
That
so fun. I think that's so
is
fun.
awesome.
But
Well, here, listen. Let me play this a little bit. I'll give you the whole damn deck, and you make it proper. Because it would
maybe.
be great if you have a flip deck, and
Yeah, and I have that Tolarian Community College coin, so I gotta flip it for something.
yes, yeah. Uh, as anybody in our play group knows, I have a coin that I made when Guilds of Ravnica came out. They had the pins for each guild, and I love Rakdos, so I got the Rakdos pin. I removed the pin itself. That way, it was just like a coin, and I painted a tail on the back side. That way, one side was literally heads and one side was
The
literally
Devil's Tail.
tails. It's beautiful, and it always plays in my favor. It always hits what I need it to
It's
hit. I love
insane.
this coin. It's so
It's
good.
it's
It's so
broken.
good.
This coin needs a nerf because of how frequently it flips in his favor. Both ways. It's not
And
even like it's always heads. It's literally whatever he needs it to be.
that's the thing is like if it ever was skewing towards one side, I would stop flipping that coin. It is 50-50 if you do it over a long period, but it is 100% right every time I flip it. So I'm excited to see if it does me well with this deck. Maybe it's been waiting all along, or
Yeah, it's
maybe it
been
betrays
lurking.
me. Yeah. But every time I see your coin, I want to flip your coin because it's this gorgeous
Yeah.
Tolarian coin, but I can't betray. I feel like it would know if I cheated on it. I don't know. It's a good coin.
Any closing thoughts for Budget Brews?
Yes, I just want to say this is a great excuse for me to run not Storm Killed Arnis. What is that? Runaway Steamkin. Do you
Oh,
remember
fuck that
that?
card. Yeah, dude, fuck that card. I remember that was in standard and that thing was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it does everything I need for this one, and I can remove it, make my mana. Uh, I'm excited to play some cards that I've been dying to play, and this will be a good one. Uh, do you know around when you plan on getting it built?
I would say within. See, the problem is that I haven't put the. I'm not settled on the deck list yet, so I was hoping to do so this weekend. But I'm actually surprisingly considering ordering it from Card Kingdom if they have everything, because despite the prices being higher, I am sick and tired of ordering from multiple vendors for like cheap cards that are like a couple of pennies and then just waiting on the whims of the mail for them to arrive. I mean, most things do arrive. Timely fashion or not is not always the case. TCG Direct has never done me wrong. They're very good about it, but like when you're spending $1 on shipping for a 7-cent card and it doesn't arrive and you've waited for weeks, it's like silly for me. So I might consider
Yeah.
just if it's all there, get it all together for that specifically.
Yeah, I like it. Isn't it funny that half the time you find yourself like almost tempted to proxy penny cards
Yeah,
just
because
because it's like I'll
no
pay for the
one's
$20
carrying
card,
those.
but
Exactly. No one's carrying those. Everything a couple dollars and more, everyone has an abundance. You can find, you know what I mean? Like you could bundle the deals together, but for whatever reason, it's these cheap like common, uncommon type things that, are irrelevant in 90% of decks that it's like, all right, individual
yeah,
shipping, 18 packages in this. Like, come on.
yeah, it hurts. But hey, listen, I'll pay whatever it takes in order for me to get
A
my
fix.
fix. No, I'm excited for this. Do you have any plans? Is there any decks that you're looking forward to playing tomorrow? Like, there's a 95% chance we're playing tomorrow. So, is there anything you're looking forward to?
Well, okay, so one thing as I will say is that one of the players we're going to be playing with tomorrow is new. I don't know if you've oh yeah, you've met him at our Thanksgiving before, but he's brand new to the game. I'm pretty sure he has 2 precons, which is likely what he'll be playing. So definitely a time to flex some of your more like weird or lower power type things. There's definitely going to
Okay.
not be as much higher power. Though Mark is inevitably going to play Gargo, so never mind. So maybe we could just all team up to shoot Gargos in the knees. But
Oh,
with that being said, actually, the one that I feel like fits the bill is I'm excited to play zombies because I don't feel like zombies is very strong or overwhelming in any type of way, and it's just made with a bunch of things I found in like the bargain bin.
yeah. That's awesome. This is a great opportunity to play my Gilwain because it is, I mean, it's mainly precon. I added some stuff, but no like money cards. Everything in
Yeah,
there was just for synergy. So that'll work well. Massacre Girl will work well. I'm excited to see your zombies go off because when you played it last time, it was going off, but I
I
guess
forget
it's
what else was on the board. Whatever else was on the board was
yeah,
terrible.
that's always the problem. Is like, you're over there doing your thing and then suddenly the world ends.
Yeah, so that more so than anything. And for you, anything particular besides Gilwayne?
Uh, Massacre Girl. That deck has been significantly downgraded, and like I said, it's this artifact secret commander of Karn, and I haven't gotten Karn out. I haven't done anything with that deck since I downgraded it. So I'd like a chance for it to do its weird artifact stuff that it's meant to do. I never have an opportunity to play these cards when we're in higher powered stuff, so this might be a perfect opportunity.
Looking ahead, next week spoilers start for Murders at Tarkov Manor. I believe they start on Monday or the 16th rather. What is that? Tuesday. They start Tuesday. So next week we'll definitely have some murder stuff. You said you're not excited at all?
I'm saying I bet that's gonna suck.
Oh, okay,
But
that's what it was. Yeah.
but the Rakdos card, I mean, they don't have too many cards out, but so Rakdos, Patron of Chaos, 4 black red, 6/6 flying trample. It's classic Rakdos. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards. You're gonna draw 2 cards
Yeah.
every turn. No one, if it was sacrifice of permanent, all right, sacrifice some treasures, sacrifice some blood tokens, sacrifice the little sapperlings, whatever you got to do. No one's sacrificing non-token permanents. So I think you're going to draw 100% of the time.
Yeah, I'm interested in investigate. I've wanted to build an investigate deck on and off for a long time, just because I feel like it's an interesting mechanic. Not really, but it's different-ish. And then when Inquisitor Greyfax from the Warhammer 40K commander decks came out, I was like, ooh, maybe this is like the investigate commander. But really, all it does is make the token. So when I saw the Azorius commander from or legendary from the new set, I was like, maybe there's a chance. And I know that it's Bant is the commander deck that's coming out with the set. I wasn't super hyped about Bant, but we'll see. So that's mostly what I want to see. I want to see more investigate support.
Now, I know you don't like mainstream and popular themes. Are you afraid that it's going to get, like sold out and kind of mainstream the oldest artifact investigate
Yes,
inclusive?
it definitely will. But then I'll wait. I'll bide my time and build it later in the future. Though the other thing too is with it being Bant, maybe the Esper is like the weird flavor of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Instead of trading out the green, but you're not getting Tireless Tracker, which is it Tireless Tracker? Yes, makes an investigate.
Yeah.
I'm like fairly certain it's Tireless Tracker.
That's the
Um,
two and a green.
yeah,
Yeah.
and when you sacrifice
That's
the
cool.
token, it gets a 1/1 counter. Love that card. Great mid-rangey kind of card.
Yeah, they got expensive there for a while.
Yeah, they hopped. I think when Pioneer first came out, people were expecting it to be like a house, and then now I don't think anyone plays in Pioneer.
Yeah. Yeah, other
And
than that card, there's nothing else really from. Like I said, I don't know why I was excited for this, and as I'm looking through these cards, I think it's going to suck, and I hope I'm proven wrong.
do
But
you like the showcase treatment? The like the case file art,
not
not art,
really.
but like frame and typography.
It's cool.
No,
It's not
that's.
great.
I
I
don't
don't
feel like
hate
you
it.
like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks okay.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I like so there's a few cards I like that have been announced already. Not on my watch, which is one in a white instant exile target attacking creature. Normally it's target tapped creature, you know,
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah, I like it. If something has vigilance, if something has indestructible, whatever. It's nice.
I
For
also
limited, that's great.
I love just for the name alone, hotshot investigators. It's just a common for a 6 man, a 5 and a blue for a 4/4 that when it enters the battlefield, return another target creature up to one other target creature to its owner's hand, and if you controlled it, you investigate. Terrible card, but I love hotshot investigators, and the art is like a dude, looking like the old grizzled guy, and there's like the smart guy behind him. I just find that to be so funny.
Yeah, there's that other card too, like the meddling kids. What do
Oh
you
yeah,
think of
meddling kids, yes. Meddling youths. Meddling youths, three a red and a white for a 4/5 with haste. Whenever you attack with three or more creatures, investigate. Like, come on, meddling youths. And the
what do you think of all these cheeky named cards that have been
I
coming
love
out
them.
recently?
I love them.
You would
I
your
just
humor, yes, you would love
I
this.
just feel like they don't it fit they do it in sets where it fits. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I feel like it's in this is kind of like a detective noir. I don't know noir really, but you know what I mean? Like it has that kind of vibe to it, so I can kind of get like the Not on My Watch and the Hotshot Investigators. For more serious sets, I feel like they haven't been too bad. I don't know. I love puns and references.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes, uh, but keep it coming. Listen, I'm down for them trying all the weird stuff, naming weird cards and referencing weird stuff, and
Dude,
uh,
Burden of Proof,
I'm all for it.
one in blue, Burden of Proof, one in blue, flash enchantment, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a detective you control. Otherwise, it has base power and toughness 1/1 and can't block detectives.
Woof. that's fancy. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
awesome. But I want detective tribal now. Like I hope there's more detectives. There's so many
Oh,
detectives already. I see 3. That's
good,
so many. 4.
good. I hope it's
Detective
good.
tribal. It's coming. It's happening.
I pull up the art for lead pipe real quick.
The one from the set or the one from the Clue game?
Oh, I'm gonna assume the set. It's the one black lead pipe.
Yeah, well, just you're
Uh,
saying the artwork for it because
yeah,
there's
yeah,
different
yeah.
art
Just the.
for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just the basic art for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, that does not look like a plumbing pipe. That looks like something you're gonna smoke a fat bowl out of, right? Like I'm looking at this lead pipe, and I don't know. That does not look like any sort of aquatic system. That is for sure something to fucking right. Like
Yeah, I mean I see the little carb cutout there at where that like filigree type shit is. So
that's
I could
sick,
definitely see
man.
stuff in a fatty in that one.
Yeah. Any glass makers out there, anybody doing ceramics, someone's got to make a nice bowl out of this. That's what you got to do. But yeah, lead pipe. Uh,
Not a bad card.
well,
Not terrible.
no, it'll be good and limited. I'm a fan of it.
One more future thing that I just saw recently, and I already know your response to this, but do you have any interest in the recently spoiled or announced Cats and Dogs Secret Lair Commander deck?
So is there a new commander for this?
No, it's just gonna be just like the
That cat and
Angels.
dog?
Yeah, it's gonna be Ren and Seri or whatever that.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a Naya deck, but it's just gonna no cards as far as I know have really been spoiled for it. But
I think that's awesome. I know they've done a lot of secret layers with cats and dogs, and I'm sure you can end up with a gorgeous commander deck if you shove all these cards together. That's
I
cool.
I think the big draw this time around is Anointed Procession reprint is in it.
Nice.
So
Good.
that's immediately like $30-$40 there. And the other thing that they're doing is there's going to be some number of reversible cards, just like how in the Angels deck had like a set number of cards that had like new art, like special Secret Lair art. This one they're doing reversible, where one side is like a dog picture and the other side is like a cat picture. So you could choose. Like Anointed Procession is double sided with like 2 dogs running with a stick, and on the other side it's 2 cats like playing with each other. So
Right.
that's like the
I
gimmick for this one.
I love it. I love that.
I will
The more
probably
they
end
play
up.
with art, the better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I will probably end up getting it, and I mean, if anybody has the ability to, I feel like you probably should because every Secret Lair Commander deck that has come out has gone up in price. Maybe from Cute to Brute has not, but that deck was terrible. I haven't actually looked at that one, but the coin flip one that came out is worth way more than it was. The Angel one is worth way more than it was, and I have a feeling that this one will also have that kind of value increase. So,
Yeah. If you're business savvy and you're patient and you can handle it, go for it. My problem is if I bought something to sit on as an investment, I'd fucking just rip it open one day and start playing it. I don't have the patience
oh,
to
I would
actually
play
wait
it.
for
I would
investments
play
to
it for
pay off.
sure. But then when you're bored of it and you're ready to sell it off, like you
Oh, there you
have
go.
that. That's more so. I like to. I open my toys. I don't leave them in the box. But
Yes,
it's just
yes,
that you're very likely to be able to recoup that cost later.
that's fair. That makes sense. The coin flip one was honestly one I had considered, but at the time, I was so financially strapped. As if I'm not always financially strapped.
Yeah.
This damn game's sucking me
Yeah.
dry, man.
I know that's the way. Gonna have to sell a
But
mana crypt to afford it. But
yeah,
hey,
yeah, one of the 7 of them that you got there. You have as many mana crypts as I have one rings.
true. But I pulled my
Yeah,
mana crypts. I pulled all those mana crypts.
I pulled all my one rings. I get it. uh, Last thing before we finish this up, I was noticing the Magic headlines that Preacher of the Schism Schism,
Schism. Yeah.
has shot up in price. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Standard's back. The Rakdos deck is back, and Preacher of the Schism is killing it." So let me read it. Preacher of the Schism. Schism. I'm saying that right.
Schism. Yeah.
2 in the black, 2/4. It's got Death Touch. Whenever Preacher attacks, the player with the most life or tied for the most life create a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. Whenever Preacher attacks while you have the most life or are tied for the most life, draw a card and lose 1 life. They're saying this is for the card draw. I love this card. I shouted it out when this set was released. This was one of my favorite cards, announced only because I like the flavor of it. I didn't think this was actually a top tier card.
I think it's pretty good.
Okay. You have to attack in order to get any of these triggers.
True, but counterpoint, it's a 2/4. So it's got a big butt, and it has Death Touch.
Yes. Okay.
So
I see it.
Right there, you're almost guaranteed to get the 2 in because they need at least 4 power on board to kill it. And at 4 power and greater, are they willing to lose it to the Death Touch? So you're getting the triggers. If you happen to be tied for life, hear me out. Play it on curve. Turn 3, you play it. Turn 4, you swing with it. Likely, possibly going to be at the same level of life, maybe a little less. But if you're at the same amount of life, you get both triggers.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, it says if you have the most or are tied, you get the 1, and if you have less and or are tied, you get the other. So if you're actually tied at 20-20 at the beginning of the game, very likely could get both triggers off. Now you're drawing a card, losing life, but also getting a 1/1 body. I feel like that's the top
With
value.
lifelink?
Yeah, with lifelink to help recoup the cost. You're getting card draw. You're getting like board presence. I think it's a really great card.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. I didn't think that this was the card to spike up. Out of all the cards in Standard, this is the one that
agreed.
spiked.
Yeah,
so it's weird, but I guess I see what you're talking about. And if anything, if nothing else, the fact that this card is what's spiking up means we're in a very healthy spot in Standard. This is a very grindy, mid-range, average card that's giving value. And if this is what's in demand in Standard, I love it. This is cool.
Yeah, so pro that card.
Can I make a hot take here?
Hot take.
Next card to shoot up it's going to be a $30 card, so get ready. Throne of the Grim Captain. Listen to me.
Oh, God.
The
All
truth.
right.
If you build a deck around the Grim Captain, and one of the first...
Don't you need all 4 tribes to make it work?
My guy. There are fucking phenomenal cards in all 4 tribes. You do 6-6-6-6. Just 6 of the merfolk. You find the best ones. The dinosaurs, you put the Dracosaur and a Tali. The merfolk, you put the one that counters an activated ability. There's
what colors stuff. Is this deck?
Is it? It's an Is It deck, blue-red, with... Oh, my God. I have it all laid out here. I'm going to send you the deck list, and maybe we'll talk about it again next podcast, because I'm telling you, this is one of the best cards in Standard, and it is not hard to get off. There's enough cards milling. There's enough things that want you to mill. There's enough ways to pull it back. And if you get it to flip, you win on attack. Guaranteed you win on attack. If you have an Atali and it attacks, and your opponent sacrifices an on-land permanent, and then you have a Atali enter, and it's already attacking too with the 7/7, you have 14 damage coming at them, and Atali triggers in it. Dude.
It's definitely a build around.
Yes. Yeah. So get ready for the $30 thrones, everybody. Buy them now while they're 14 cents.
Yeah, I was going to say there's 16 cents on TCG Player, so you can get in at 100.
Yeah. No, I like it. I love where Standard's at. I have been playing it a little bit. Right now, I've been making a lot of knives. There's been a lot of other things I've been working on. I'm drawing again. And my weakness has always been faces. So I've been exclusively on a campaign to get my facial drawings up to par where I want them to
Yeah,
be. So, instead of picking up my phone to play, I've been picking up my pencil and pad. But
that's fine because we've been playing a ton of Commander, so I think IRL
yeah,
playing is better anyway.
yeah, yeah. I love that we're all in on Magic right now. That we're playing as much Commander as possible. I was just talking to Connor today, and they're moving up here mid-February, so they'll be up here soon. They're doing well with the baby. They're all itching for some Magic, so hopefully we can take a day, and even if it's just a small portion, we play a few games, get Melissa in, and then her and Dana can take the baby, and then maybe Taylor can be there, and just a way to get them back into Magic a little bit, because
Agreed.
we saw it with Joey. When you got that baby, there's so much going on, but
Yeah, you're
that one
jonesing.
day of Magic, yeah, it can change everything if you can just get a good day of Magic in there. Is that Fratty?
Yeah,
Is
getting the
that
cat in.
Fratty? Ah,
Cat
nice,
cast.
nice. I love it.
She
Dude,
doesn't
I'm
want to
still
be here.
looking for this deer. I'm I'm gonna go post that. It's so bad. So hunting my last two deer, I actually go out, I sit in a tree, I track, I do all the proper ways of hunting. I sit in 20-degree weather, shivering my ass off, not even blinking heavy because God forbid they see you. But for this last deer, as we're approaching the end, I'm hunting in my house. And the other day, I have my camera set up, and I'm waiting for them to show up, and I'm on my couch, I'm eating food and watching TV, waiting for my phone to go off, and I'm like, damn, this is cheating. I tell you, like
Have you ever seen that episode of King of the Hill where that kind of happens?
no,
Oh,
no,
it's a great episode where everyone in the town, like a rite of passage for all the young men, is to go on the first hunting trip with their dads, and for reasons that you find out later, uh, Hank doesn't sign up Bobby for the trip, so he scrambles and there's like this luxury resort place that offers the hunting license, and literally like you're in like a padded room, like tree stand, and like they feed the animals and the animals are like sleepy and they stand like right in front of you on the ground, and they're like, this doesn't feel right. So
yeah,
that just kind of reminded me of that.
that's funny. Yeah, that it's rough because my yard allows me to hunt it, and sometimes I do feel like it's cheating. And that's why my first two deer, I made sure go out, do the whole thing, because it does sometimes, shooting a deer in your pajamas, it's like,
Yeah. What am I
ah.
doing?
But the meat, I mean, so we've been eating primarily venison lately, and it's just, I don't know. Everything else tastes cowy to me.
Yeah, too cowy.
What is this? What is this? Cow? Where'd you get this from? But no, man. Listen, I'm excited for Magic tomorrow. I'm glad we're building some awesome budget decks. We just went through that stint where not podcasting. We built Will and Rowan, and those were very high-powered decks. Um, there was no budget. There was no
No, yeah,
limit.
that
There
one's
was
kind of
no
crazy.
moral standards. I went hard in that deck. So it's nice to do this, fun little exercise of
Side project.
yeah, fun stuff. And it was great to hear your process of like spirits. No, let's do
Reanimator.
something a little bit weirder, because you explained it well. Of as you were formulating how that deck was going to get built, you realized that it was either a one-trick pony or not going to work out. Not be reliable, something redundant where you can recast your commander. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where. What's your name? What's your girl's name?
Drana?
Kalidas? Drana.
Not Kalidas. He
Drana and
betrayed. He
Kal.
betrayed the clan.
I
He joined
know.
up with the Eldrazi.
Sorry.
Was nerd.
Yeah. Best card. One of the best black cards. So I always say 2 black is the CMC that holds all the best cards in Magic. And Kalidas Trader of Get is one of them for sure. Love that thing. But anyway, brother, I think we made it to the bottom of the glass.
Oh, that's the bottom of the glass.
Which I finished both my beers. I do have to say, there's a little left in this can. Oh, I would have been drinking it this time. Liquid Sorcery, a little bitter. not as juicy as I normally like my
Needs a little more sorcery.
double IPAs. But yeah, little, but you know what? A little tart, a little sweet. I liked it. Not bad. So.
Vanilla.
I love that. All right, man. Listen, you have a good one. We will see you guys next week on Brewing Through the Multiverse. Take care.
Till next time.